So hopefully you all enjoyed your Chase GB Gin and Tonic, and you're now ready to move on to something else. Now, keeping it very much on the theme of gin, we're going to go and taste our Chase Pink Grapefruit and Pomelo Gin, which is the first of our flavoured gins that we'll try this afternoon. So what I mean by flavoured gin is a category which has really developed over the last probably 3 or 4 years. We first released this in 2016, and that was probably one of the earlier flavoured gins in the flavoured gin category. And what makes it flavoured as opposed to just dry gin is that it probably doesn't have juniper as the underlying botanical, as the main flavour profile that you'll get within the gin. Certainly juniper should play a part of it, and it absolutely does in all of these 3 gins here. But there's other things which are going on in each of them. And in this is pink grapefruit and pomelo. So everybody knows what pink grapefruit is, but what the hell's a pomelo? This is what everybody asks whenever we normally do these tastings. A pomelo is basically a larger, fleshier grapefruit. It's a larger grapefruit, not necessarily fleshier, sorry. It has a very, very thick skin. And the thicker skin is great to distill with, because ultimately when you're distilling, you're taking the oils that exist in a citrus fruit, and you're allowing those oils, which are heavier than alcohol, to bind to alcohol, and that flavour profile then shines through slightly better. So yeah, we use pink grapefruit and pomelo. We take the Chase GB Gin, we distill it again, using all those same botanicals that we've used the first time round, but as I say, with pink grapefruit and pomelo on top. And then once that's distilled, we then macerate it. So what I mean by macerating, this is when you take your distillate, your spirit, you put it back in contact with ultimately probably the same botanicals, same ingredients you use in the first round of distilling, but you just allow it to sit in that. So we allow the gin to sit within pink grapefruit and pomelo. And that extraction of flavour, that additional extraction of flavour, allows the extraction of colour as well, which is why it has this lovely, enticing pink colour that people often seem to go for. So without further ado, let's have a little bit of a taste of this as well. I think what you'll find with this is the nose is pretty phenomenal. It's often a favourite in bars because you'll be able to smell it from the other side of the room. Wow, yeah. That is lovely. It's got that kind of bittersweet, sharp flavour of grapefruit and pomelo that you'd expect. But then certainly there's that backdrop of juniper, which is so important that still very much means that in the eyes of the die-hard gin drinker, it still is in some way resembling gin. But it's fantastic. The flavour profile is so rich that actually ultimately when you're making it into a gin and tonic, you don't necessarily need to go and use a garnish. Yes, in an ideal world, it's lovely to have a great big wedge of fleshy pink grapefruit, but actually in this kind of slightly strange era of while we're on lockdown and we're not going to supermarkets as readily as we normally would do, as with the GB gin when I'd made it earlier with just the lemon instead of ginger, this you can absolutely make a fantastic tasting G&T without that. So what we'll do here is just add a little bit of ice as we did before. We will grab again Fever Tree Mediterranean Tonic, which I think goes perfectly with this. And cheers. I mean, that is perfect. So again, I would use a similar ratio as we described earlier with GB gin. So 50 ml of pink grapefruit and pomelo gin and 150 ml of tonic water. But again, if you prefer that to be stronger or less strong, then by all means, make it as to your particular preference. But that's certainly how I like it. It's a great summer drink, fantastic while we're sitting in our gardens, but also amazingly people love drinking it throughout the year. So hopefully you enjoy it too. If you are interested in any other cocktails, any other suggestions, I would suggest looking at our website as well. We have some other interesting serves there too. But certainly with a lovely tonic water such as this, you can't lose. Anyway, cheers guys. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed the advert break. I'm getting a little bit cold, but we will stay out here for the time being. I'm not sure if we'll be inside by the end of the tasting, but anyway, we have hopefully just enjoyed the Chase Pink Grapefruit and Pomelo gin, and we're going to very much keep on the theme of pink gins and very much flavoured gin, but move from Pink Grapefruit and Pomelo onto our Chase Rhubarb and Bramley Apple gin. You should have with you for this particular round, whereas with the Pink Grapefruit we didn't have any garnish at all, it was just tonic water. With this, I prepared a slice of apple, a lonely slice of apple, and then we're also going to use a little bit of ginger ale. So if you want to go and grab some ginger ale from the fridge and then just prepare a small slice of apple, then you'll have all you need in order to make the drink that we're going to make in a couple of minutes. Just to give you a little bit of an understanding about how we make this gin, it's a different profile, different process to the Chase Pink Grapefruit. What we do with this is we use a rhubarb and Bramley apple juice that we press on the farm first. We use that juice, we blend it in with Chase GB gin, and as I mentioned earlier, one of the botanicals that we use in GB gin is cinnamon. That cinnamon naturally pairs brilliantly with the rhubarb and Bramley apple that goes into making this particular gin. Evokes all those childhood memories of rhubarb and apple crumble, and when you're making it into a cocktail, it goes really well. So we'll have a little bit of a taste of it just on its own. All dependent on people's flavour profiles. If you like something slightly sweeter, you'll probably prefer this over the Pink Grapefruit. The Pink Grapefruit's got that kind of bittersweet, slightly kind of mouth-watering acidity that some people love. This is certainly slightly sweeter, so if you have a sweeter tooth, this may well be for you. It's a lovely kind of natural flavour of rhubarb, and then just the tanginess of the Bramley apple comes through as well and balances it really nicely. So, how would we serve that? Very simply, I would a little bit of ice. Again, as earlier, a little bit more gin, a slice of apple, and top up with some Fever Tree ginger beer or ginger ale. Personally, I prefer ginger ale. It's not quite as spicy and allows you to taste the gin more. Very easy drink. Now it just goes so well with the rhubarb and apple. That is absolutely lovely. Anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy, and we'll see you for the next round very shortly. Thank you. I'm going to enjoy this one.